Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Mayor Tyler Moore Show here on the Kokomo Post, partnered with Robert Miller and Son Furniture of Kokomo. My name is Drew Larison. This is MTM. Mr. Mayor, how are you?
I'm great. Happy Monday to you.
Happy Monday. The madness of March has begun. Did you watch some basketball this weekend?
I did watch a little bit, not a ton, but did catch some. But that's the beauty of it. I mean, a lot of upsets, a lot of close games. I mean, that's the beauty of the tournament.
Yeah,
So,
it's been wild so far.
I haven't checked my bracket this morning, though. I mean, just after last night's game, I only put one together. So with my family, that's for bragging rights. We didn't throw any money in or anything. So going into the weekend, I think I was 10th. I was tied for 10th.
That's not great.
That's not good. No.
We did one at the office. Brady you're in first.
Oh.
Holding down the first place spot.
All right.
I do feel bad. So Jay Stevens, which if you don't know Jay is our main sports content creator over on the Kokomo Post Sports. It makes sense that Jay would kill it.
You would think.
Right? And
that's why they call it madness.
Well, he was killing it. I kept checking our scores. Jay at one point literally was like a 99.9% accuracy.
Wow.
Through the first round, I think. Right? He was killing it. He picked St. John's to win it all.
So did I.
Did you?
I did.
And that crumbled. And then he's just been slowly crumbling since then.
Patino.
But I think at one point Jay was top 10,000 in the world or something like that. And there's 24 million brackets just on ESPN. Right. But I did see this morning, there are 0 perfect brackets left.
Really?
Out of the 24
That's surprising.
million.
Usually
there's a few more. I mean, we're just in the Sweet 16.
Right.
Nobody picked
That's surprising.
a perfect bracket up until now.
Love it.
It's wild.
That's the way it should be.
Yeah.
That's the way it should be.
Exactly.
Keep Vegas on their toes.
Exactly. Yeah. Before we get too deep into it, let's give a shout out to Robert Miller and Son. Save big this tax season with our tax time savings event at Robert Miller and Son. This March, enjoy 30% off all furniture plus an additional 5% off when you pay in cash. With 0% financing for up to 60 months for eligible purchases. You can bring home top selling pieces like Lazy Boy recliners, Smith Brothers living room sets, and premium mattresses without breaking the bank. Only a few days more of that. March is close. We're getting close to it. I mean, next Tuesday, it's April. So get in there to Robert Miller and Son while you can. Yeah. Quarter one done. In 2025. So crazy things are happening. But shout out to them for being the partner for this show. And
thank you, Robert Miller and Sons.
Absolutely. Yeah. So what'd you do this weekend? Anything?
We slipped away to Troy, Ohio, the home of Hobart's Technical Institute of Welding Technology. That's probably not the correct name of it, but it's the Institute for Welding Technology. Our youngest is down there, and because he doesn't have a spring break, we thought we'd go down and pamper him a little bit and take him out to some of the fine establishments that Troy has to offer. And just
did you go Applebee's or?
No, believe it or not, they've got some pretty cool restaurants. They've got a cool downtown, big roundabout square with a big courtyard in the middle of it. But I mean, it's just actually when we were still working our way through establishing Adora. We were down last August, and they had already had theirs established, and so I was able to pop into a few businesses. Actually met with the mayor and asked her how that was going and see some of the things that they're doing. But they've really done an incredible job of repurposing a lot of old historic buildings downtown into restaurants. There's one, Crafted and Cured. It's a craft beer, wine, and bourbon bar in this old bank. It's just...
An old bank bar.
An old bank bar, and it's just outstanding. But we hit everything unique to Troy, except for leaving. Got sandwiches on the way out, just in the car. But no, made it intentional to get him to places that he hadn't been able to get to, but had thought about while he's been there since last August. So it was a nice time. Just rolled into town. Thanks for. To you and the team here, as well as our viewers, for giving me an extra half hour to get back off the interstate.
Yeah. No worries. What'd you do this? I mean, other than that, I saw you this weekend.
Friday night.
Friday night.
Oh my gosh. if folks, I'm telling you, I mean, I know I've bragged about Curtain Call Theater, the Children's Curtain Call Theater here in town. I had the wonderful, blessed opportunity to be part of 2 productions with those kids and young adults, but they brought it again this weekend.
They did.
This past week with Lion King Jr. Jude was over the top, Pumbaa-tastic, if that's the
that
word.
could be a word. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That could work.
The only I mean, I wish they would have had his mic turned up a little bit because he had.
Yeah.
I mean, Pumbaa always. I mean, he's comic relief. I mean, and so he's got a lot of one-liners, and I think they might have missed him. So hopefully they had him turned up a little louder on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know,
but
there's
oh my
so
gosh,
many.
he did
There's
such
so
a
many
great job.
microphones.
All of them. I know.
I'm not envious of the people that have to do sound.
Oh, yeah.
Because I mean, there are.
Right, as kids are
30 individual microphones, and they've got to keep like turning them on and off
and they're kids. Yeah, when
Yeah.
they get backstage, I mean, you could hear a
they're
few
chatting.
times. Hey, you did good. That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's cute, but
Yeah. No,
Oh
it was
my
great.
God.
They almost broke this weekend the Curtain Call ticket sales record. I think they were like 50 some tickets off for a weekend.
I think Mary Poppins their
I think
biggest.
Mary Poppins was
I
the
think
biggest.
Yeah, so that was last year.
Really cool though. Really cool to
2 years
see
ago.
the kids put so much work into
Yes.
that. They did a Friday night show and
my
then
gosh.
a Saturday matinee show too. And Kokomo came out. There was a lot of people there for both shows. Really cool.
Yeah.
Really cool to see. Obviously, I'm a very biased dad for the
As you
Pumbaa
should
character.
be. Oh my gosh, because you kept saying, I mean, because he weighs like less than $1 anyhow, and so being casted as Pumbaa, I'm like, how are they going to make him into the warthog? But that was just
They did.
having the
Yeah.
Pumbaa head on the front, and then like you said, I mean, it sounds like it was wise on their decision or to put a back end to it to balance that out. But oh
Yeah,
my
it was
gosh,
quite a costume.
folks, if
was great.
go online to either Curtain Call Theater, there's some on the Kokomo Post, but check out the pictures. I don't know if there's any video clips from anything, but the kids just nailed it this weekend. Kudos to Jeremy Leesenby Bruce and the entire Curtain Call volunteers, parents, staff, as well as, and most especially, the kids that put in the time and effort to bring incredible production in Kokomo.
They worked their butts off. It was really cool to see.
Yeah.
You know, I went from terrified, like right before Jude got on stage, to just like smiling ear to ear. It was really cool. Really cool. Yeah. And
oh my gosh.
they did
that was
announce
great.
the next show is going to be a studio show. So like a smaller production. It's called The Yellow Boat. And then they're going to have an alumni show coming up in August. And that will be Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat.
One of my all-time favorite Broadway productions.
Which we saw that our family did down at Beef and Boards one time. So
Okay.
It was cool to see that, and now they're going to be doing it locally too.
I saw
so that's
it in
the alumni
Chicago
show.
twice with Donny Osmond as
Oh
Joseph.
wow,
Oh, it was great.
that's hard to top. Yeah,
it was
but that'll be the alumni show. So so adults that
Fun.
were in Curtain Call when they were kids, they can come back and be in that
Cool.
show too. So awesome, great weekend in Kokomo. What's going on at City Hall this week?
Not quite sure because I had the day off being down in Troy, so we didn't have our usual updates this morning. But I know that I'm back down in Indianapolis tomorrow to meet with a handful of mayors and our state association to discuss where Senate Bill 1 currently is and what the governor and legislature is going to do with property tax relief. And outside of that, I think just touch and base. I mean, obviously, the weather's going to be beautiful, and we're keeping our fingers crossed that the asphalt plant gets opened yet this week or next, so we can start getting out instead of just patching some things, paving some things. Now, it doesn't mean we're going to be paving every street that needs it, because there are a lot of streets that need it, and I'm sure there may be some questions posed today in regards to that, ongoing concerns and criticisms and such, but hopefully we'll be able to get that moving. But outside of that, just again trying to get spring projects going. we'll probably be putting together our thoughts on what the RFP is going to look like that we'll put out for new ownership for a baseball team in Kokomo that we'll call Kokomo Municipal Stadium their home. So excited to get moving on that as well. But other than that, business as usual as far as I know, because my phone didn't go off today and didn't get a slew of emails that had issues going on. So that's always good. So we'll find out a little more tomorrow. Sorry I didn't have more for an update.
No, it's fine. No big deal. Yeah, it feels like it was a long weekend for some reason. Yeah. So I'm right there with you. No big deal.
Cool.
Okay. Let's get into some questions today. We have some questions in the queue ready to go. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the chat if you're watching live, and we'll go back and I'll make sure to get all those questions and pull them over. To make sure I haven't missed any yet so far. There we go. Yep, there you go. We got some questions like non-city questions this week. I mean, a lot of people just wanted to know more about you personally, but the first one is through an email, which if you have any questions that you just want to send over through email, you can always email Erin, ERIN, at thekokomopost.com, and she'll send those over to me. This one through Sarah through email. Okay. Can you ask if they are ever going to put some signage up or something for people to know to yield or keep going at the intersection of Sycamore and Washington by the Lafayette Pain Center? When you go to the right, no one knows if they have to yield or if they can keep going. Sarah through email.
Right. Ideally, folks are to continue through that and stay in the right-hand lane and then eventually merge back over. But because so many that make that turn need to get in the left-hand turn lane to Superior, or because it's a little blinded with City Tire there on that northwest corner, it's hard to see when folks are coming southbound there and are right up on you, and because a lot of times folks are needing to continue on, or like I said, get over to the left-hand lane, and so there's a lot of confusion. I get it. So we'll definitely look to see what type of signage there. I thought there was a yield sign there already, but there may not be. I was thinking there was. I hit and do that every morning, but we'll look at it and see. Otherwise, if it's a yield, people are going to, hang out, even if they do have the westbound lane, the furthest right, as you're heading south in those southbound lanes anyhow. But yeah, I get it. It's a little confusing, and people get backed up at it because a lot of them, they either want to continue on and want to get in that middle lane or sneak all the way over to that left-hand turn lane. So it's a little dicey through there.
Gotcha. Okay. This one's a little silly from our friend Emily on Instagram. Okay. If you could only bring 3 things with you on a deserted island, what 3 things would you pick?
Have we talked about this before?
I don't remember this.
But or maybe just off the air. I don't know if we've ever had it as a question. So 3 things on a deserted island. Makes you think of Castaway, the movie with Tom Hanks. I'm like,
oh yeah, great movie.
So, definitely a lighter, but I know that it would probably eventually run out of butane or whatever.
That could be your second item.
No, because
like a gallon of butane.
But 3 things on a deserted island. So yeah, definitely, something it's definitely a lighter or something to start a fire with.
Yeah, you don't want to bring matches because then those could get it wet and then they're just ruined.
Right. Maybe some sunscreen.
Not a bad idea.
You'd probably run out of that too quick.
That's true. It could be a lot of sunscreen.
Because there wouldn't be power, so you wouldn't say, a phone or I don't. Maybe. So if I wanted to bring a sketchbook, would a sketchbook and a pencil count as 2 separate items?
I'll count it as one.
Just something to keep your mind sharp and and just kind of pass the time, or use as fire starter if you can.
Sure. Yeah. A very large sketchbook.
And maybe a fishing pole so you can eat.
There you go. So what was the first one?
A lighter fishing pole, and maybe a sketchbook that had a pencil with it.
Yeah, I loved that movie, Castaway.
Yeah.
Such a good movie.
Made fire.
Wilson. Which reminds me of that time I tried to milk a coconut. Next question is from Aaron on Facebook. What's the best meal you've ever had in Kokomo?
Oh gosh, the best meal I've ever had in Kokomo.
Or do you have like a go-to?
I'm kind of partial to Mr. K's now.
Do you like it?
Korean, yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, it's
adventurous.
a toss-up between that and Soot. I mean, really.
So you just really like Korean food?
I love Korean food now.
Yeah.
Yes, very much so.
What do you get there? Do you get like a bowl or do you like you do the barbecue?
It depends. I mean, sometimes we'll, get adventurous and go ahead and kick up the barbecue. But a lot of times just the beef bulgogi. I mean, it comes, that plate. I mean, their wings. I mean, you can't go wrong with their Korean wings. I know Soot has a couple different styles, but however Mr. K's prepares their wings is just...
They're the crunchiest things of all time.
They're just incredible.
Yeah, and the perfect amount of spice too.
Yeah, but I don't think I've had the same thing there outside of the the little dishes that they bring out. I mean, kind of like the chips and salsa at a Mexican restaurant. But
all the sides,
yeah. But the best meal I've had in Kokomo
of all time.
That's
a restaurant I was thinking of the other day. Remember Captain's Cove?
Over just off of the fountain. Yeah.
We don't have like a solid like seafood place anymore.
I mean, Red Lobster's still hanging on.
No, I said a solid, like a good one.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't say that.
Shots fired.
Yeah, wow.
I don't know. My daughter and wife are both allergic to shellfish, so I can't really go to Red Lobster much.
Yeah.
If the word lobster is a shellfish is in the title of the restaurant, that's usually not on our top list to go.
Sure.
Those Cheddar Bay biscuits, though.
Gosh, man.
I love that you love Korean food.
You can't go wrong with Kyle's Burgers over at Coterie.
That's correct.
But yeah, that's tough. I mean, because I love food. I love to eat.
Do you have a favorite burger at the Coterie?
Not really, because
you tried the Trashy Mac?
I have tried the Trashy. That's probably
the grape jelly mayo.
That's probably my favorite. I mean, but I tried it. I mean, the last handful of times I've kind of strayed, and I've tried different ones, but I haven't gotten over to some of the others. I think the one they did just recently was the one that had the big honking mozzarella stick on it.
The Diener.
The Diener, yes.
Yeah, it's a giant cheese curd on the burger. The kids tried that on Little Foodies one time.
Did they?
Yeah,
Nice.
It was absurd. Thought my kids were gonna have heart attacks. Interesting. Okay, Korean.
But yeah, so
love
it's
that.
yeah. I mean, it just depends. I mean, because I've been to so many different places that if I'm in the mood and I get in and I'm like, oh man, like,
Does the first lady do you guys both like to try different things?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's very adventurous with food as well. Not as adventurous as I am, because I came back like, oh, you should have seen this other stuff that we ate at South Korea, and she's like,
yeah,
whoa, man. But like, I had an incredible, pork chop a while back down at Half Moon.
A good pork chop every now and then is just so stinking good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is a follow-up. Second question. Emily asked.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Aaron, asked on Facebook about that. He also wants to know, if you could only eat one food for the rest of your life, what would it be? I told you we had a bunch of funky personal questions today.
One food for the rest of my life.
You have to eat it 3 meals a day the rest of your life. Brady, what's yours? Is it pizza?
Probably pizza, yeah.
Or is it Japanese food?
But would it have to be one?
Okay, I will say one. Okay, I will say one meal, not like one food. Like if you have to eat like one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be? So yours would be like hibachi. Yeah. That's a great choice because you get different types of meat, rice, veggies, the salad, the soup. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, since I'm on this Korean kick, man, I'd probably have to go with those beef bulgogi boxes that's got the dumplings and, I mean, just the whole gamut.
I love that.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. Good answer.
Thanks.
Nice. Steve on Facebook wants to know, when does Kokomo open back up?
Good question. It's usually right around spring break or so. I will check. I haven't been online on the Parks Facebook page, but the Parks Department will have that posted when they do, but it's usually April. So if it's not this weekend, because it's the last weekend of spring break or the weekend between the 2 weeks of Kokomo spring break, it may be the weekend after. But it's usually in April, so it should be coming up. I apologize that I don't know. I'll get in and find out. I know our park superintendent is out this week for his spring break. So if it's not next week, if it's not that first weekend in April, I'm almost guarantee that it would be the weekend after, sometime before Easter kicks in.
Brian on Instagram wants to know, what's the worst movie you've ever seen?
That I've actually sat through the entire one. I mean, there's been plenty that I've started. I'm like, okay, this isn't going to work.
Yeah, there's a lot of those.
But one that I've sat through, I'm like, okay, I will never get that 2 hours of my life back. The worst movie I've ever seen. Man, that's tough too.
Making you think.
I know.
These personal questions are more difficult to answer than some of the city ones.
Stuff, yeah. So the worst movie. Gosh,
do you have any that are popping up in your head?
Mm-mm.
You just love all movies.
No, well, I sometimes have a bad habit of sitting through a movie waiting to see if it gets better. And even if I've seen it before, I'm like, okay, maybe I missed something last time. Oh man, worst movie. God, that's tough.
It is a tough question. Actually, I'm trying to think of like mine.
And even one that might even be. I mean, some of them, they're even so bad that they're good. They become cult classics because they're so bad. I mean, I could keep it close to home and just say Terror Squad. If anybody saw Terror Squad, the movie made in Kokomo,
yeah, it's pretty bad.
It was. I mean, just how they went from scene to scene, going from a shorter bus to a longer bus, and it was pretty cheesy, but it was fun because it was like, oh, you saw people that are from Kokomo as extras in it, and I don't know. So. Probably not the worst movie ever made.
It's up there.
But yeah, it was pretty rough.
Yeah. All right. Greg on Facebook wants to know, with Chick-fil-A, Popeyes, Raising Cane's are all in the same intersection, potentially, in Kokomo. If only one could stay, which one would you pick?
Oh.
Well, that's maybe a little aggressive.
Yeah,
those three restaurants are the only restaurants open in Kokomo tonight. Which one are you getting dinner from? This is an easy pick for me.
Yeah.
Might be a hot take.
I know.
It's Popeyes for me, by the way. 100%.
Is it? Yeah. I mean, I
Popeyes.
Love the red beans and rice sides and the spice and the chicken, and
it's called flavor. Yeah,
Yeah.
Popeyes is easily number one on my list.
It would be tough. I mean, it would probably be between Popeyes and Chick-fil-A.
Here's what I'd want. I want Popeyes
just for the solid pieces of chicken and the sides. Chick-fil-A for the sandwich and waffle fries.
I want Popeyes with Raising Cane's sauce.
And Chick-fil-A's waffle fries.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
You're not wrong.
There we go.
That's the ultimate chicken meal in Kokomo. I love that, actually. It's a great idea. Can't wait to do that. Also, like Chick-fil-A.
And then biscuits from Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Popeyes has some good biscuits, too.
Yeah, they do.
Oh, man. Okay.
Buttery.
Yeah. This one is from someone I've never heard of her before. Her name's Bree. With all the new businesses popping up in Kokomo, what's one business you would love to see pop up here in the Mo? The Mo is what she refers to Kokomo as. Yeah.
Well, because everybody talks about having, things to do, something similar to a Dave and Buster's. I mean, we're all about food and stuff like that, but I mean that also has the arcade aspect of it.
Yeah.
Actually, Pinheads. If you've been down to Pinheads, and because it's got the bowling alley, it's got the arcade, and it's got the food.
Oh, is that in like the bottling district?
No, it's right off of 465 on the east side.
What's that place down by the Bottle Works Hotel that's got like duck pin bowling, but also like a barcade, like all attached, something like that. It's cool too.
I know Fountain Square still has the duck pin bowling, but there probably is something down by Bottle Works.
There is.
But yeah, so food and entertainment wise, that. Otherwise, everybody talks about the need for grocery. It'd be fun to see a Whole Foods or a Trader Joe's.
Trader Joe's would be nice.
Yep.
Years ago, I made a Facebook page called "Bring Trader Joe's to Kokomo."
Oh,
and it got like 4,000 followers. We were trying to find it the other day, and apparently Facebook deactivated it because I hadn't done anything with it for like 10 years.
So maybe Trader Joe's.
I wish.
Petitioned and had it taken down.
No. Okay. I was trying to petition them to get them to come to Kokomo. That was the plan. Yeah.
Well, I figured it was, he threw that out there without Trader Joe's permission.
No, they can get over it. So no, Trader Joe's is a pretty chill organization, I think.
Cool.
All right, well, those are the questions we have today. Some fun ones, some silly ones, some city-related ones. If you have any more questions for the mayor, leave them down in the chat below, or you can, like I said, email us at erin@thekokomopost.com, ERIN@thekokomopost.com, or we always put out a post on Mondays where you can leave your questions there as well. We post some clips of this show throughout the week, so you can leave your questions in the chat there or the comments there. No excuse. You can always find a way to ask this guy some questions on a Monday. Do you have a dad joke for us?
Well, I said we were away for the weekend, and while Owen was at his place, we still had some time together, and so we were sitting at breakfast, and my wife was just going through all the things she's still got to do, and the stress of life, and job, and worrying about the kids and everything, and I told her, I said, well, really, honey, you need to prioritize. You just need to embrace your biggest challenge in life and start to embrace your biggest challenge.
That's good advice.
It was, yeah. She got up and hugged me.
A little self-deprecating humor today. Yeah. You okay?
She got up and hugged me.
It's all right.
And she said, "That's a start."
That's a start.
What?
Nice.
Okay.
Nice. Thanks for watching this episode of the Mayor Tyler Moore Show here on the Kokomo Post, partner with Robert Miller and Son Furniture. My name is Drew Larison. This is MTM, and Kokomo. We'll see you next time.
See you, Kokomo.